Hello, my name is Hana Lee. I'm a part of the media artist group Isogrim Studio. In this video, I'm going to talk about our recent project, The Gaze, The Machine Without Eyes. The Gaze is an experimental audiovisual installation with a surveillance video and generated story. The piece explores conceptual issues around the border: race, identity, the political geography of surveillance, and manifestation of power. There are 5 short stories. Duration of the work is 8 minutes and 14 seconds. The piece is composed of 3 intertwined elements: surveillance camera footage on the left screen, the story generated by artificial intelligence using Neural Storyteller and GPT-3 on the middle screen, and headshot on the right screen. The generated stories are narrated by voice actors of different ethnic background. And I'm going to play short excerpts here.
I had a feeling that was never going to be a waste of time. But she kept her eyes closed, letting the pain fade away as soon as I saw him enter the house.
Black night. A blurry shot shows a tall fence that angles in a kind of Z-shape, around which appears to be a parking area with a large building fronting it. As a kid with a red...
The pandemic is amplifying our exposure and engagement with the social media and bombarding us with the video images from mobile phone. Through this variety of media, we may encounter many incidents of racism and xenophobia throughout the world. I started to research racist incidents on the internet and noticed the camera angles of the shot. Most of the incidents are recorded in the form of surveillance, and they were disseminated on social media platforms. There is no question that anti-Asian racism is reinforced by a political narrative around the origin of COVID-19, and simultaneously is spilling into the street to be captured by ubiquity of the camera. The 2 images on the left and the middle capture how the news media carelessly use the images for their headline. They use a random Asian people on the street to juxtapose with their headlines about the first corona cases in New York City. And you have a very famous photograph of President Trump's speech writer. He crossed out the word COVID and changed it to Chinese virus. His action no doubt contributes to anti-China narrative being pushed in the media. It precipitated a curiosity about how racism is depicted in visual culture, how surveillance culture produces and propagates and collects the data, and how the power of gaze is exercised during this pandemic period. I was genuinely curious how machines sees and interpret these images containing racial, political, and social images. I started collecting live surveillance videos from different countries, and I also collected footage from social media and the news. This set of images presents some of the surveillance footage I collected. Examining the collection of images, I see many peaceful, accidental, ironic, and nostalgic images. Neural Storyteller is a recurrent neural network which generates short stories about images. It came out around 2015. The training data for the text generation is a romantic novel, so the generated stories are inflected with a romance. The creator trained a visual semantic and embedding between Microsoft Cocoa captions and images. I like the conceptual idea of creating romance stories out of surveillance and social media footage. GPT-3 stands for Generative Pre-Training Transformer 3. It is a state-of-the-art deep learning artificial intelligence which produces text like remarkably similar to human. The video demonstrates how I create a short story from Neural Storyteller. The video is playing at 6 times faster than normal speed. Through this project, we weren't trying to demonstrate how AI can write a short story like human, but we used this method to explore how a machine would see and interpret the image and how inherent and bias of the training data generates a story. The process is interactive. Our team tried a various combination of images and selected the most interesting and compelling output. This project ended up having 5 short stories, but we generated many different stories over a few months and selected the top 5. These images are from surveillance footage from the piece: Nagoya, Japan for the abstraction theme, Seoul, South Korea for the boundary theme. News footage portraying different Asian countries during the pandemic was used for watching theme. news footage, DMG surveillance footage, which actually incident happened in November 2017 when North Korea soldier crossed the border to South Korea, and surveillance camera captured that, and that was the user for chance. And then the last one is the incidents of racism reported in Vancouver, BC, where old Asian man was kicked out of a store that was used for the violence theme. These are some of the still images I use it to generate stories. Apart from myself, the rest of the headshots are all from Asian students attending the University of Utah. I asked them to act out their own gestures representing when they feel anxious, and I also asked them to question about what they would do facing racism. Each headshot is a map to a different story. The boys are from people with different ethnic background: Bengali, Kenyan, Hindi, Persian, and Spanish. So the project was made possible through the collaboration of many different artists, and I appreciated their support. Thank you for listening to the talk.